Hey guys, it's your boy M.K.S back with another video. I've just been for a really nice walk in the sunshine and blue skies and all that sort of stuff through a field. It's pretty cool. So anyway, I come back now to try and make this video, and hope you will like it, as I always hope. I may live in hope. I'll try and make it as interesting as possible, of course. So anyway, back to my video, which I was talking about Egypt and my plans for it to host as many summits, conferences and general events as possible between Asia and Africa, and connecting the two continents together, helping them to have partnerships, networks and that sort of thing. So I'm going to get on with the list. Number 21, I hope for Africans and Asians to learn about each other's culture and history and heritage and facts about each other and figures and all sorts of things like that, and again learn about each other's writers and authors and artists, and raise each other's profiles and that sort of thing, and remind each other what their goals are, what they want to achieve. 22, I hope 21 also, I hope that the diaspora, African and Asian or Black and Asian diaspora around the world will support Africa and Asia. I suppose the Black diaspora mainly supporting Africa, and the Asian diaspora mainly supporting Asia, but they could also perhaps support each other, and maybe Egypt could host events between both the Black and Asian diaspora, and Central Asia and Central Africa could host events between Asians and Black people respectively. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, I hope for people from the diaspora, organisations and all that sort of thing, to fundraise for them and to donate some of their, as much as our taxes, including myself, part Asian, I could donate as many of our taxes as possible and lobby for our taxes to go towards those groups, and that could be like overseas aid. I'd love people to be able to choose where the tax money goes, but maybe that's a topic for tomorrow. But as people, POC, people of colour, others to donate to what I call the four and countries that are colonised, maybe even like Ireland, and people with Irish descent can donate to Ireland as well. That's the anti-imperialist in me. But anyway, as much as most of these projects are, or this YouTube generally speaking. 22, I hope they look into the future and see how they can work together, network together, and encourage futurism, and people to be able to look into the future with vision and things like that. So 23, out there, so they'll host events looking at how Asian artists, authors, creatives, poets and so forth can get funding for their projects, and people from Asia and Africa generally can get funding for their projects. Because today is Writing Wednesday, I hope to focus mainly on the writing side and authors and artists, things like that, and works by people from Africa and Asia. I put works in quotation marks. 24, and that would include organisations, banks, and using their tax money and things like that as well. Excuse me. 24. Again, I hope for like anti-imperialists to support Asia and Africa, and Egypt host anti-imperial events and look at different countries by their dates of independence, and also like how to promote peace and reward peace, and possibly have award ceremonies for a group of organisations that support peace, and things like charitable projects like water aid, and shelter and food for people in Africa and Asia, and things like that. Reward those organisations and companies that fundraise for those sort of things, or provide cheaper food for the poorer people from those, and again water and things like that. And organisations and companies which look after the environment, and encourage as many charities and NGOs to support them as possible as well, and also to support democracy and human rights again in Asia and Africa, as well as protection of children and vulnerable people, and people with physical, mental or learning disabilities or illnesses, and again things like medical aid and animal rights and all sorts of things like that. 25, I hope they'll talk about the positives of republicanism and bring together republics around the world to meet up, even ones, especially in Africa and Asia, but also possibly invite ones outside of Africa and Asia to talk about how they can network, like the US, Brazil, Argentina, nations like that, and Ireland, even, and nations like that. Basically all the world's republics, and talk about positives of republicanism and how they can support each other, support each other's writers, authors, artists, and that sort of thing. 26, I hope they can talk about anti-imperialism and how they can network because of their shared history of being colonized and things like that. and that sort of thing, and talk about possibly discuss the pros and cons of reparations, or how Asia and Africa can be reparated, or maybe even they can support each other, but then that could be like they reparate themselves, so to speak. 27, I hope they'll have host Egypt host. I hope Egypt will host, for want of better English, things like STEM, training for STEM, and also like awards for giving rewards, and also having award ceremonies for people that have contributed to Asian and African republics and Asia and Africa generally, tackling poverty, supporting their writers, supporting their projects, artists, promoting their work, poetry, and all that sort of thing, and acknowledge those people who have helped Asia and Africa, and including like improving the relations between each other. 28. I hope that it would be like what I call making a positive from a negative. So like they'll discuss how to make positives from negatives, like for instance how they were colonized, and I think they went through a lot of negative things, and how they can then use that to make positive things and that sort of thing. 29, I hope to encourage people from Africa and Asia to support Syria or Italian football generally, and like wealthier people from there to own Italian clubs and invest a lot of money into infrastructure like academies, as well as investing in academies in their own country, and like say Asian or Arab owners own clubs like AC Milan or Lazio or Juventus or whatever, and improve relations as well. And like they have training academies in, like say someone from Indonesia buys an Italian club, then they'll have like they could have academies where in their home nation, but like people from Italy, from let's say they buy AC Milan go and tour those academies and train together. So it will hopefully benefit Italian football as well as the people in their home nations, and also same for Celtic as well. I love Chinese and Indian people to work together and like invest in clubs like Celtic, and also people from China and India to support Celtic and all over Asia as well, especially and Africa as well. So they buy the kits and they help the brand value, just like Man United. They have fans in all those countries. So I love Celtic and Italian clubs to have those sorts of fans, and also invest in grassroots Italian football, like the lower levels and things like that. So I hope that all made sense. And number 30, I'd love to hear your opinions and how you think I did and whether I'm improving or not. And your least and most favourite bits, and anything you want to contribute or anything you want to comment in the comments, all comments welcome. And I'm out. Peace and love.